The Healer by Dr. Rick Harlow, healing the body, the mind, the spirit, and the earth. The Flower Garden. Once upon a time there was a beautiful flower garden. It was a magical garden where all the flowers had minds and they could all talk to all the other flowers in the garden. They could feel the warmth of the sun and the cooling and nourishing rain. Winter was ending and the crocuses were popping up all over the garden. Grape hyacinths and butterflies were returning to the garden. Soon they were joined by tulips, daffodils, lilies, and so much more. And as spring slipped into summer, they were joined by more flowers than you could imagine. The garden was alive with the color of the flowers talking, and there was peace in the garden. On a day in early summer, one of the sunflowers told the other flowers that study and divine inspiration revealed that the sun was God. Wasn't the sun making them all stronger, healthier, and helping them grow? All of the other flowers accepted this wisdom, so they all started to worship the sun. A few weeks later, one of the snapdragons noticed that the rain cooled them and nourished them and made them stronger. Some of the flowers that had been worshiping the sun decided that maybe they should worship the rain. So they started worshiping the rain. All went well for the garden. The sun shone, the rain fell, and the garden was at peace. Then the rain didn't fall for a while, and it was starting to get dry, and some of the flowers were starting to wither and die. So all of the rain worshippers started telling the sun worshippers that they were wrong, and that they needed to start praying to the rain so it would come and save them. All of the flowers in the garden were praying for it to rain, and miracle of miracles, water fell from the sky. Everybody praised Snapdragon and blamed the sunflower for all of their problems, and once more, all was well in the garden. About this time, there was an invasion of plant-eating insects. All of the flowers started praying to the rain to save them, but it did not change things. They were being eaten alive. That was when they noticed that the marigolds were not being eaten. The marigolds started to believe that they were gods, and they told all the other flowers to worship them. As soon as they started worshiping the marigolds, the insects died, and the entire garden started to thrive and flourish again. All was at peace in the garden till some of the flowers started to notice that the sun had disappeared, and the rain wasn't falling on them. It was getting worse and worse, and some of the flowers were dying. The sun worshippers and the rain worshippers said that the reason things were getting bad was that the flowers were not supposed to worship just the sun or just the rain, and definitely not the marigolds, since they were dying just like the rest of the flowers. The sun and rain worshippers said that both the sun and the rain protected them, so they were supposed to worship the sun and the rain. All the flowers started to worship the sun and the rain, and a miracle occurred. The sun and the rain came back to the entire garden. All went well in the garden until they noticed that the sun was not as warm as it used to be. Some of the flowers were starting to get sick because of the cold. The sunflowers started to shout, "See what you have done! You stopped worshiping only the sun, and because of this, the sun is getting weaker." So all the flowers started worshiping the sun again, and they prayed for it to come back and save them. It was hopeless. Each morning they awoke with fewer and fewer flowers in the garden until snow covered the garden. I wrote the story from the garden flower's point of view. So now what really happened? This garden was my flower garden. During the summer, I noticed that the garden was getting dry, so I watered it. I noticed that insects were eating my flowers, and they were not eating the marigolds. I remembered that marigolds produce a chemical that kills insects, so I sprayed my garden with it, and the insects died. I noticed that the garden was being invaded by kudzu. Kudzu is a vine that grows so fast it can kill a tree. So I pulled it up and took it out of the garden. And as fall progressed into winter, I watched my flower garden go to sleep and be covered with a beautiful blanket of snow. That snow protected the roots and the seeds that would produce the flowers in the spring. I want to ask you a question. If the flowers had been praying to me, the garden's caretaker and healer, would I have acted differently? Do I not love those flowers for their beauty and not for what they think of me? I tended and nurtured my garden to enjoy its beauty and not make money off the flowers. Could the gardener just as easily have been another human? Could the other gardener have had a different way of gardening? I did not create the flowers in the garden. I tend it, love it, and help it to be as healthy as possible. This point of view is the way we need to see the creator of our universe. The creator of the universe is not the sun, the rain, or even the marigold. The creator created it for its beauty and not to be worshipped. The creator created us, humanity, to take care of the earth and just as importantly, each other. The creator did not create the universe to make money. And likewise, the caretakers don't take care of it to make money. And what we call the creator doesn't matter. We call the creator God, Yahweh, Allah, Jehovah, or even the Big Bang and evolution. There is no way for us to know what God is, any more than the garden flowers could know what I am. The creator cannot have a name, face, or sex. The creator is just the creator. And just like me, the creator creates because of selfless love. And anyone applying a human trait to the creator is only doing it to give themselves power. Do we have the same body as the creator? I doubt that the creator would want my body. Do we have the same memories? Not likely. What do we have in common with the creator? Selfless love. And we must selflessly love the earth and humanity. Now to the topic of this course. That is the topic of healing. Healing should be a selfless act that we apply equally to ourselves, humanity, and the earth. So how about a little selfless healing? Check out my healing course, Bleach Save Me, a course that can save us all.